Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Barkanmu da shigowa class na farko, Web Development Fundamental. Abu na farko da zan gaya mutanen da suke nan, saboda based on our registration, most people da suka register a yau yanzu, the Hausa people, and some of them they mostly speak Hausa. I think for the sake of learning to take place, za mu dinga yi mana dan adding Hausa into our explanations haka saboda samu a fahimci abin da ya kamata a fahimta. So wannan class ne na farko a wannan HTML of Web Development Fundamental. A cikin wannan course ne za mu yi introduction to HTML. Menene HTML din? What is the introduction and how can we write HTML code? So wasu daga cikinmu have a little idea about HTML, more especially some people that are coming from computer science background, either learn it online or from any other school, or maybe learn it from another school. So HTML is a language that means hypertext markup language. This hypertext markup language, kamar yadda muka sani a computer have different languages. So initially the language spoken in a computer is like the zeros and one. So apart from these zeros and one, computer was not be able to understand any other language. So mutane ne sai suka yi ta kokari su fito da wannan language din da at least you can be able to use it. So to cut this explanation short is that idan muna buƙatar mu create a website, so we need HTML. Wannan HTML is a language da muke amfani da shi domin mu create a website. In short, this HTML is a language da ake governing din shi based on tag. Tag is what we call the basic element of the language. Kamar misali a ce misali kai ne zaka koyi yaren Hausa, so sanin kalmomin Hausa, zo, tafi, dawo, menene da dai sauransu. So a basic abubuwan da ya kamata a ce mutum ya fara koyo. So bayan wannan ne zai iya haɗa wannan kalma da wannan kalma domin ya bada ma'ana. So kamar haka ne in HTML muna da abin da muke kira tag. Tag ba wani abu bane illa opening and closing of text. Let's say, let me just try to see it inside this let's say here, if I write something like this is what you call a tag, right? Less than / then greater than. Sometimes it doesn't even have it, only less than /. So this is what you call a tag. With the help of this tag, then a name specified, therefore we have a different functionality. Kamar misali yanzu akwai tag din da suke da functions da dama a cikin HTML. Akwai tag din da ake ce misali h1 is the tag name. So anything you write in between here, inside here, is called the name of the tag. So we have basically two types of tags. Sometimes if you can see a tag space like this and like that, this is a tag. You can also see another tag like this, right? This is let's say h1 here, the name of the tag. Then let's say h1 here. This is starting the tag, this is ending the tag. Whatever da muka sa anan kenan will be affected with the functionality of this tag. So to cut this short, basically the tag are very useful in terms of creating a web pages. Normally, the tag, when we have the tag and we have another tag here with the content inside here, we group all of them together here. We call them as an element. Therefore, anywhere you have tag, either being this single element tag like this one, or double tag element like this one, therefore we all call them element. So idan tafiya ta yi tafiya a nan cikin class nan za mu ga yanda actual muke forming din su. HTML is very simple language. It's very simple to the extent that ko da mistake kai, wannan mistake they will not stop the program from running. It will continue running, but sometimes depending on the mistake in the kai, so you will have a problem. Maybe it didn't do what exactly you asked it to do. One is quite different than other languages. Some akwai languages in da if you do mistake ba zai ma aiki kwata-kwata ba. Akwai kuma wa'anda zai yi aiki a makila abin da kake so ya yi ba zai yi maka shi yanda kai kake tunanin zai yi maka shi ba. For instance, now it's very simple. You just keep typing here. To create a web page is very simple with HTML. Very simple. Just type whatever you want to type. Then after you finish typing whatever you want to type, then come here, then click save here. You see the save? Okay, click on it. Yes, it bring you something like this. What you need to do, you specify where you want to save it, right? If you want to save in a document, no problem. If you want to save it in the desktop, no problem, right? So that is the number one. Click on the folder you want to save here. Then after clicking on the folder you want to save, give it a name. The name is very simple. I can give it like week 1 HTML. Probably if you put space, no problem, but advisably you should not put space in between the names. You can say week 1 HTML. Let's say HTML. All right. If you write HTML, then you write dot, or maybe you can say week 1 dot HTML. This dot HTML is very useful. If you mistakenly didn't put this here HTML, the file is not going to be a website file, right? It is not going to be a HTML file. Code a calculator code, you will not be able to see anything, and it will not be able to run in your browser, right? But you have to write it dot. Don't mistakenly put comma. This is comma, right? This is dot. Full stop. Yes, it's a dot. So after that, the most important thing is to select the type. Yes, sometimes in some computer you see a bunch of list of things that come down here. So you choose hypertext markup language from there. Then if you don't see much of them like that, you see something like mine, you select all files here. Then the next thing you need to do, you just click this save button here. Yes, if you click this save button here, you already save it. Now if you go to your document, you minimize this page here, minimize this one, minimize this one here, then minimize. I have opened so many things in my computer here. I have opened so many things in my computer. But if you come here, open these files here. It's taking a little bit time for it to open. Yes. Taking a little bit time to open. I don't know why. Okay, it's opening now. So gashi yanzu ya bude shiga desktop already we know that we save our file inside the document. Here, this is my document. You scroll down here, you probably see week 1. If you didn't see it, you can search for it. Let's see week 1, where it is. Not this one, another way to open it twice. So you see that this is week 1. So mostly you see it, the file look like with this E inside here, or it might look like this if you are using Google Chrome as your default browser. But in this computer we are using Internet Explorer as a default browser. That's why we are seeing that. If you see your file doesn't come with, it comes with something like this. This is to say you have a problem in your saving. Alright, so you need to see it either like this or like this. So now if you just click on this, you wait for it to open inside your browser as a website. Just wait for the moment it will open inside your browser as a website. Okay. Yes, it's going now. This one is open. Alright. Sorry, I have a problem with Kata. That is why. Oh. There is some, yeah. This is what we just typed. This one, as you see here in the browser, you can't delete it, you can't do anything, with that. If you want to make changes to this one, you have to go back to your code here. This is where you do it, and then you delete it and write whatever you want to write. This is, let's say, Caliphate Tech Solutions Limited. Right, if you now save this file, you come to your browser here, refresh, you click this button for a refreshment to refresh so that it can get the updated content of the website that is there. Yes, that's why you see now, you see this. Okay, this is just a static something, right? So there are so many things we can do from here. And if you look at this in some website, if you go to, let me show you some example of different website here. You see the way the arrangement of these, the kind of color the website is. Sometimes you see it like that, right? You see pictures, images, display, all right, the website, and you see all of that, or some other content. Even Google Map, you see a displaying some fonts, some places. You see when you move your mouse over this one, you see some kind of change effect. Some texts are bigger, some texts are smaller. That is cool functionality of HTML, which we are planning to teach you people in this course, starting from this week, next week, or per week, and continuously to the end of this program. At the end, be able to at least write the HTML code. So this one we just did is just to demonstrate it. This is not the standard way you can write. Just go ahead and write your code. No, they are structured. Maybe this one is this side, this one is another side, this one is top, this one, the picture of this man is on this side. Look at this one is on top, on this row like this. There is another blue on top there. There is this one that is moving from one angle to another, picture like that. You know, all of them have structures of arrangement. So for us to have this kind of structure of arrangement in HTML, we need to come here inside of our code here, write some tags, some HTML code that will enable us to have the structures like that. So for us to be able to have a structure like that, we don't need this one for now. All right, so all we need to do, we have a tag in HTML. We call it HTML tag, HTML, and then we end our HTML. All right, this is just a tag. In this tag, for us to have a good structure, we need to do something like this, right? In this place here, then we come here, we do another tag. There is what we call a header. Header, will explain what we mean by this header. We end our header here, right? End our header. I told you this is kind of an example of double tag element. We can say, okay, this is our header. In between the header, we also have some tags that is happening. Let me just quickly explain what I mean by header. Header is, you see this place here, right from here where your mouse is up to this place, right? This is what we call a header. So in this class, in this week, we consider this one as the header for displaying this content, right? And it has also another functionality of doing many things on top of this header, but let's just consider it. So if you open this one now, you see this one you are seeing here is a location where our file is. Look at this from our hard disk users HP document. You know that we save our file inside the document. In the document here, we want because the place is too small. So apart from being in header, we can remove this one for security purpose, so that the reader will not be able to see where the file is, so that we represent it with another thing. That's what we call a title. So if we come back to our code here, we inside our header we can do another element, title element. We can say, okay, tag. It's a good practice anytime you want to use create any tag or any element. Try to do opening and closing then before you start writing inside. Now we write title here. Inside the title, I will say this is my title. Let's say week 1 in HTML. Okay, now in our title, yes. So now if we save this file now and refresh this page, probably we will not be able to see anything inside our body there. We can't see anything here because we didn't write anything, but we are talking about here. This one will be replaced with the name we are giving as a title of the page, right? So now look at it very well. You see now this one has changed to week 1 in HTML, right? This one is like kind of giving a security of a thing, so that the user will not be able to see exactly where the file is when it's using this website. Yes, just like some other website, if you land on this page here, you will not be able to see that. You see the name of the website and then the title of the page. Look at the title of page. If you click on this one too, you'll not be able to see the name, but you see the title of the page, even this one, and other things like that. It is very added security to it, so that people will not be able to identify what actually is happening inside your website, right? So going back on our code here, you say this one is just a header. Then the next one, we can give it a body. This body, I will show you where we mean by the body here. They say, okay, this is the body, this is and the body here, right? So if we take this one down here, this is the body, and whatever we write here is kind of going to be here inside here. Say if you write, let's say our caliphate, right? Is it caliphate? Yes, it's true. Caliphate tech solution limited here. Right, if we do this, it's good for us. And if you save it now, we come to our browser here where we've seen it, refresh this page here, probably we can see the content appear there. Still not responding. You see Caliphate Tech Solutions Limited is appear here. Right, so apart from that, the HTML has some tags that we are going to use. We have tags that we call heading tags. Heading tags are tags that are very, very useful in terms of formatting a text. Yes, in terms of formatting a text. What do you mean by formatting a text? In the website, if you go to a website like this, you can see this text is a little bit bigger, this text is smaller, right? This text is colored, this one is just like that. So we have different tags that we can use on a text in order to change the normal behavior of a text, right? So now let's look at this one. We have heading text that are like, we have a tag that are called, let's say, H1 tag, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, and all that, right? So now for us to use it, we need to just say H1, right, and the H1, right? In this space here, now say, okay, this is a H1 text. Right, now if you save this one now, you come to your browser here, refresh this page. Yes, you'll be able to see what exactly is happening. Look at this text. This text is bigger than this text because of what? We asked it to make it bigger using what? Using the H1 text. So we have different, this H1 is one of the example of heading tag, heading element, right? Heading tags element, right? So we have another one, we have H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, H3, H6, right? So look at this one now. This is H2. So what I want to tell you here is that always try to put this in mind, that H2 is smaller than H1, right? H3 is smaller than H2. I know that in your mind, maybe you're thinking, maybe the H, since it's H2, is supposed to be bigger than H1. No, in this case, H1 is the biggest one, then the H2 is closer to H1. Now let me just give you a text so that you see exactly what is there. Okay, if I now say this is H2 text, right? This is the H2 text. Now save this, come back here, refresh this one. Yes, you see H2 is smaller than the H1. That's why if we use H3 again, H3 will be smaller than the H2, and then H4 also will be smaller than. That is how it goes. The last one is H6. H6 is the smallest text you can do inside an element. So if you need bigger, remind you also, if you need bigger text than the H1, you can also do, but that one is out of the scope of the HTML. You maybe go to the CSS, which is coming in the next class after this one. So you go to it and then you make as big as you want the text to be, and then it will just appear like that. Yes. Apart from the H1, we have another tag, hidden tags, that is H1, H2, H3. We have another tag, we call it paragraph. What do you mean by paragraph? Paragraph is normal paragraphs. Sometimes in a website you might likely have a text paragraph, maybe a paragraph 1 that contains some text, paragraph 2 that contains another text, paragraph 3, in a website, maybe try to, like, if your website is trying to kind of explain some things, you do it in a paragraphs, and it works like that. So that is a paragraph. But we used to put something inside paragraph. We do p tag here, then and the p tag here. See, p is just a paragraph, then and the p here we do a paragraph, right? So we say, okay, this is a paragraph, yeah. So you save this and you're good to go, right? So if you save this and you come to here and then refresh this page, is not here as a paragraph. So it continues going up to this point here. Yes, up to this point here. If you reaches this point, you break and come down and continue. That is why if you create another one, it's going to be another paragraph. To leave, if this line didn't reach here and you put another paragraph, that paragraph will now be down here, another items of the discussion and the paper or whatever you want it to be. So this paragraph is very important. It's very useful in terms of be try to explain something on the website, maybe kind of text and other things related to text. So this is what we call introduction to HTML. Don't forget to save this HTML. You save it the normal way we save it. If you didn't save it correctly, you have a problem. If you save it and you didn't see this button, this logo here inside your file, or this one, or any browser's file, you have a problem. If you see something like this, you have a problem. If you see something like this, you have a problem too. So you have to see something like this or something like that, or any other browser's logo on top of the file. That shows that you have saved it correctly. You remember always to put all your code inside one place, create folder, inside the folder, save it inside, and you are good to go. So this is just a brief introduction to HTML, and in the subsequent classes we continue discussion. And don't forget to your interactive class that is going to be physical, maybe starting on Monday, that is for 6th of this December 2022 for batch whatever it is. So therefore you need to kind of learn this. You learn it on your own, you come back. After coming back, then you will discuss it, right? It's okay. So see you in CSS class.